The next question is from John. It says, in one of the earlier chapters of Dances with Dragons, Tyrion mentions 16 wonders, 7 natural and 9 man-made. This is going to be a more specific question, I guess. He's not sure if they all get spelled out in the rest of the book. He's only on page 327.
They don't.
They don't, okay. And he's guessing that the Wall and the Titan of Braavos are 2 man-made ones.
He's right.
All right, okay.
Yes, I had a little more about those. You know, Tyrion is known in the books as a voracious reader. So in one of his chapters in an early draft, I had him remembering as he was on this continent, Essos, for the first time. He's never left Westeros before. Reflecting on these books that had written centuries before by a traveler from Westeros who had written Wonders and Wonders Made of Man, and there was some paragraphs about what they were, and it was an interesting background story, but it kind of slowed the story, so I kept in just the oblique reference, but took out the more detailed explanation of it.
I guess you don't always know what kind of questions are going to come up, but the Mark of Borel, is that how you say that? The Mark of Borel? You know
Okay, what? Yes,
He says, this is Kaliko, says, I think I missed something because I can't figure out what it is. Is that a question you can answer?
the Mark of Borel.
Yeah.
Well, he might be referring to, there's one particular family, a very minor family who appears in only one chapter, but they're islanders, and I mentioned that they have webbed fingers and toes. They're a trait that runs in their lineage going back generations. Some of them have it, some of them don't. So that may be what he's referring to.
I guess our fans dig deep.
They do, yes.
Drew wants to know exactly what were your interests as a child that possibly influenced your writing as an adult?
Well, I suppose today you'd say I was a geek or a nerd in terms of my interest as a kid. I read comic books, I read science fiction and fantasy. I lived a lot in my own mind. I played a lot of games. You know, we didn't have video games back then, but I played board games like Risk and Monopoly and so forth. But I think one of the big things that influenced me in my taste was our financial situation. I mean, we never had much money in my family. We lived in the projects. We didn't even own a car. We never went anywhere. My world was sort of bounded. I lived on First Street in Bayonne. My school was on Fifth Street. It's like 99% of my life was spent between First Street and Fifth Street in those little 5-block area. But Bayonne is a peninsula, and we have New York Bay on one side, Newark Bay on the other side, and the two bodies of water connected by a deep water channel called the Kilvan Kull. And the projects that I lived in happened to be right on First Street, so directly across from us was the Kilvan Kull, and beyond that, Staten Island. And it's a deep water channel where many ships bound for Port Newark come and go. So I was a kid who never went anywhere, not even like to the lake or to New York City, which was not too far away. And yet I would watch these big ships pass every day and all through the night with flags from all around the world, from China and Liberia and South America. And I'd start to imagine all these places, and I think it woke a hunger in me for seeing distant wonders and then creating distant wonders, making up stories about the places I would go, the things I would see, or, you know, transposed to my characters. So I took the travels in my imagination that I was not able to take in my actual life, and have continued to do so.
How do you pronounce Aaron Greyjoy's title, Damp Fair? That's from Rob.
Damp hair.
Damp hair.
Damp
okay.
hair. Yes.
Okay,
I
damp
suppose
hair.
I should have put a hyphen in between to make it
That's
clear.
all right.
This is because he's all wet.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cynthia asks, are wildlings related to the humans?
Wildlings are humans.
Yeah.
They're just humans who happen to live beyond the wall, and you know, their culture has evolved differently because they're not subject to kings or laws or lords, and they're more of a tribal society, village society, living in very harsh conditions.
This is a question that asks if you have a favorite character in the series. Tyrion. And why?
Because he's fun.
All right.